Hello, welcome to a Mr. Barnett Screencast. Today I'm going to be talking about adding text. We'll go ahead and get started right away. The photo that we're going to use is found in Classroom, so you can go ahead and grab that mountain photo and throw it in here. This is going to be kind of our example one for today. Before we begin, the first thing you want to do when we're working with text is we actually want to make sure we're signed into Creative Cloud correctly. So on the Windows menu, you want to make sure you're on Adobe Creative Cloud and go ahead and click on that. And you should be logged in here. We don't need to do any updates, so you don't need to click on anything like that. Just make sure you're logged in. You can check, if you click on this, it should show your email up there. So you can see mine says tbarnett@CDA Schools. Once you have that in, you're pretty much set. Okay, I'll just keep this minimized for now. Now, with text, there's kind of two parts to this. It's pretty easy just to get text in there. But we really want to focus on making our text look really nice and professional. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and add our text. So we're going to use the T tool. So if you look on the side, there's the T tool over here. And once you click out there, you're going to see it adds layer 2 over here with the T in it. Can I go ahead and I'm going to type in the word hike. Okay. And right now it's looking pretty basic. So we want to try and change this and make this look really nice. So currently, I'm typing. I need to select what I've typed so far. So I'm going to click and highlight. Okay, be careful because if you click somewhere else, it's going to add a new text box. So you want to make sure it has this icon right here. So you see it switch. So it'll highlight just like that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I want to change the font size. So I'm going to click and drag this up, and it's going to preview that size pretty quickly for you. So we'll go and make it pretty large here. And then let's change our font color. Let's go ahead and make it white for now. And then we're going to want to center it up. So to center it, I got to switch back to the move tool. And I can click and start to drag it. And you're going to see it should snap, okay, with 2 lines kind of to the middle. If it doesn't, just get it as close as you can with an eyeball. Okay, so there we go. We've got our word centered up there. A little bit of tough to read just because of the white background, but we'll fix that later. The next thing we want to do is switch back to the T tool, and we want to highlight it again. Okay, we're going to change the font style. Now, when you click on the font style menu up here, you're going to have just kind of the window ones on there. That's what these kind of like O looking things are. And they're okay, and you can definitely kind of choose from some of those. But what I want you to do is actually to get files or fonts from a place called Typekit. Typekit is provided to you by Adobe. So to access those, you really need to make sure you're signed into Adobe, and then you're going to press this button right here. Okay, it says Add Fonts from Typekit. It's this green button. So I'm going to click that little button there. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to launch you to Chrome, and this is why you have to be logged in. It's going to launch you to Chrome to all the different fonts. Okay, so you can go through. These are just kind of the ones that they have on the front page. You can search by, maybe I just want to look up decorative fonts. Okay, these kind of have some cool looks to them. Okay, so maybe I'll do those. Maybe I want to add this font. So when you want to add one, you can just press this little slider. Okay, and it'll say, sweet, activated successful. Okay. Okay, and you should get a little notification here that says it's synced up to yours. So Regulator Nova, I just added that one. The other way that's really nice to look up fonts is under font packs. So at the very top, if I switch over to font packs, let it load up this page. It's going to give you like series of fonts together, and really important, it's going to show you examples of them. So for instance, if I'm looking through these font packs, maybe I want to check out this one, kind of interesting looking. I can click there, and in the font pack, I can see examples of these fonts being used. So maybe I'm like, oh, I really like how that font turned out. So maybe I'm going to go with that font there. Okay, and you can see it's listed right here. So to get this, you actually can just click this button right here, and it's going to give you all 10 of these fonts. Okay, so maybe I want this one called WHOMP, W-H-O-M-P right here. I want to use this one. So I'm going to activate it, give it a second to sync up. Okay, once it's synced, you're going to go back to Photoshop. Okay, and then so we have our text highlighted. Then I'm going to click this button here, and you can either just search for it. So I know what it's called. I could type in W-H-O, and you can see it's like right there. Or you can filter, so I can press this T button right here, and I can filter it, and these are now only Typekit fonts that I've added so far. So I could kind of move through them. It's kind of nice if you can see your text as it's changing. Like, oh, there's some crazy looking fonts as I'm going through. Here's that other one that I added earlier. Where was that at? Right there. Okay, so there's some different ones. But so anyway, so I want to do that one I just added. So I'm going to type it in and change it to that one right there. Okay, and then now I can kind of click away with my move tool and I can kind of preview it and be like, okay, I like what that looks like. Okay, mess around, spend some time, pick a really unique font that you think kind of fits the theme of whatever you're making. So I'm going to go with this one here. You can choose whichever one you like. Okay, the next part is editing the layer style, and that's kind of like the way that this font appears on the page. And this really will take your picture to a more professional level if you add this. So I want to make sure I'm selected on the text layer. So that's on the layer menu. And then up top, I'm going to go to layer. I'm going to go down to layer style, and you're going to see all these different options, and they all are kind of unique. The most common and the most popular one to use is drop shadow. So we'll go ahead and start with that one. So click drop shadow. Okay. On the side, you can see here's bevel, here's stroke, here's inner glow, here's outer glow. So they all kind of have some unique looks to them. And in fact, you can mess around with them, change the colors, change the sliders, change how opaque it is, change the spread. Feel free to mess around with them to kind of see what you can do. There's a lot of different cool. You can even combine them. So I could go bevel and glow. Okay, totally up to you. I'm just going to use drop shadow. And the reason I like drop shadow is it makes text really easy to read. So on drop shadow, you can change the location that the sun's or the light's kind of hitting your text. I can change how see-through my drop shadow is. I can change the distance that the drop shadow is occurring. Usually I like to put it kind of just subtly behind it. You can change kind of the size, so make it more faint or really harsh. Okay, kind of up to you how you want to do that. I'll press OK here. So you're required to have one layer style and then one font from Typekit, and that is good for you to turn in from there. And then you're going to do one of your own. Go ahead and do the same thing. And that one you can do as much edits as you like, and that is it. Make sure those both turned in the classroom, and hopefully that helps you with adding fonts from Typekit.